Welcome to White Dark Tarot, where the reader is bubbly, but the readings can get dark. So now I am going to be working on the September 2nd half readings for Cancer. And I would like to go ahead and get started with the Animal Oracle deck. Oh, three. Cool. Okay. So we've got Eagle, Sea Serpent, ooh, and the Black Egg. Nice. All right. Eagle. All-pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, bright, radiant challenges. When out of balance, controlling. To bring into balance, step into the unknown. Sea serpent, healing emotional wounds, expressing desires. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression. Whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire, the sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our are at ease, and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. And finally, the black egg. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. This feels like Piscean energy. You know, with what's going on with Saturn and Pisces right now. It's about finding your inner truth. It's about authenticity. It's about what needs of mine are not being met in my life and what is getting in the way of that. But to be able to ask that question, we need to ask first, what are my needs? I read something fascinating the other day because I am also a psych grad. So I kind of keep up with, articles in that realm of things too. But it was talking about how, well, it was speaking more in the context of, men versus women, how men tend to be more programmed to turn inward and avoid conflict or confrontation when it's emotional in nature. and to kind of shut things in. Whereas women are wired to reach. When they feel anxious or scared, they tend to reach because they are programmed to be hyper aware of the emotional states of people around them. Whereas men are more programmed to control themselves. And so, on a basic, fundamental level, every human being, male or female, needs, wants, and craves love and connection. I talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs a lot because, it basically sums human nature up. We need food, sustenance, water, and then we need shelter, safety. And it's only after that that we need love and connection and a sense of belonging. It is such a fundamental need that it comes only after literal housing. And beyond that, once we feel like we belong and we are loved and we are cared for, that's when people start to want to do better for themselves. They start to crave a sense of achievement. They start to crave recognition. And then finally, when they feel that, well, like when they can see that their work is amounting to recognition, achievement, more acceptance, admiration, that's when they want self actualization, as in to become the best version of themselves that they can be. So, love is kind of the threshold, the way I see it, between us being animals living from a place of survival, food, shelter, safety, water, sleep, to having more complex needs. Love is that threshold. And with that being said, men and women crave the same thing. They need the same thing, but they're programmed to respond to emotion differently. And so when women reach because they are afraid, because they are anxious, because they are scared, and they want reassurance, they want connection, they want to reaffirm that connection, and men withdraw, it's heartbreaking. Whereas from the man's perspective, they withdraw because they're scared or they don't know how to handle things. And then they see the connection slipping away, they see the love slipping away, and it makes them even more scared. So they just keep turning inward. But they have to watch what the very thing that they want slip away because they don't know how to handle it. And what I feel from this is that you are going through that process of understanding that on a fundamental, what you are wanting is, for example, love. And you are looking objectively at yourself and your life and thinking to yourself, what is stopping me from having love or feeling love or being in love? Is it me? What are the things that I do, the ways in which I respond that brings me further and further away from the very thing that I want? And that's a brave question to ask because a lot of people don't. And they tend to blame the other person. They didn't meet my needs. They weren't doing what I wanted them to. Fine. Then why did you stay? Fine, but did you tell them what you wanted? Do you even know what you want? Those are the questions that you're asking yourself right now. And that is brave work. That's what the black egg is: ruthless truth. And it isn't until you can do that for yourself that you can truly grow as a person. All right, let's get into love. I'm not sure why, but the cards feel like they don't want to be in any sort of order right now. I usually lay them out and they kind of do a start to finish story time kind of thing, but right now they feel scattered and like they're meant to be scattered. I feel like this is your inner state right now. This feels like all of these things happening all at once. We have the Ace of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and these all feel like, oh, and the Eight of Pentacles too. They all feel like honestly, these feel like more or new opportunities that are deeply tying into your sense of identity. As in, things are presenting themselves to you, new things that are also in turn teaching you more about yourself. As in, you feel to me like you're aware of what is drawing you in right now. You feel to me like you are aware of the ways in which your heart responds when presented with certain things. It's kind of like if you have a baby sitting there and you offer it a spoonful of peanut butter. Probably shouldn't call a baby it, huh? And you offer them a spoonful of peanut butter, and let's say the baby doesn't want it, turns his head. And then you offer a spoonful of jam, and they kind of take a lick, they like it, they eat it. And then you keep doing that until the baby kind of figures out what it does and doesn't like. I called it again. What they don't, what they do or don't like. Why do I keep calling human babies it? Anyway, so it's like you're going through that process where kind of life is almost doing that to you and you're the baby and it's like, hey, hmm? And you're like, eh. Or it's like, hey, eh? And you're like, hmm. And it's almost like where normally you would kind of put yourself in like a frenzy where you're just like, oh, there's no way I could do that. I don't have it in me, or, oh, that won't work, or you just kind of go in starting with the dismissive or with the overthinking or with the, I don't know if I have what it takes kind of mentality. It's more, you're paying more attention to what is making you go, hmm. It's like the value right now is in that process, that split second process where you hesitate to say, no, I can't do that. Or, oh, I don't have what it takes. Like that moment gap between being presented with something new and then overthinking it. That's what that feels like. I know that's a really weird message, but. And then we have Ten of Swords, Son of Swords, Six of Swords. That all feels like it ties in with the world. I'm feeling a cyclical energy, and I'm trying to place it. Ten of Swords, Son of Swords, Six of Swords. Ten of Swords, Son of Swords, Six of Swords. The world. Oh, I see. That's your mental cycle. You know, what we were just talking about, where you go, oh, there's no way I can do that, or I don't have what it takes for that. Well, in the context of love, since this is a love reading, it's kind of like, let's say you're presented with a certain feature about your partner or something new about them that you didn't know, and you're finding yourself being conscious of that mental process that you go through as you're presented with new things about your new partner or potential partners. It's like you're becoming more hyper aware of like the green flags versus the red flags and the mental processes that you go through as you're trying to figure out what you want. And then in the Ten of Swords, Son of Swords, Six of Swords, I'm seeing a cycle in communication, in the realm of communication, in the way you operate in relationships that is changing. And it's because you're suddenly so self aware. Am I sabotaging this? Why has this happened before with a different person? Am I the common denominator? Or am I just choosing similar people? Or in this scenario, I need to behave differently so that it doesn't go the same way that it did the last time. I'm seeing a lot of that math happening. And between the Four of Cups, Ten of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles, see, the Four of Cups to me is the card of letting opportunity pass. And the Ten of Cups to me is abundance. It's ultimate abundance and fulfillment, you know, with someone else. It's kind of a joint venture happiness type of deal to me. Four of Cups, Ten of Cups, Two of Pentacles. Like it feels like do I let this slip? Or is this what will make me happy? And it's hard to tell when you're still trying to figure out exactly what it is that you want. My fingers keep doing this because that's what this feels like. Ten of Cups, Four of Cups, Ten of Cups, Four of Cups. And then Ten of Swords, Son of Swords, Six of Swords, Ten of Swords, Son of Swords, Six of Swords. And then we've got the Ace of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. You know, it's kind of like these things that pop up, and you're becoming conscious of the way your thought process cycles through it, and you're becoming aware of the way you feel through it. And it's like you're trying to weigh everything out as you're trying to navigate what your standards even are, what you want, because you've changed as a person recently. And you're reevaluating. You're just revamping the way you function, the way you choose. It's like your palette is changing. Do we land anywhere? Because right now, all this is telling me is that you're recalibrating, is how I'd word it. Okay. Four of Wands, stability, foundation, happiness. The 1111 card. Honestly, the way I look at it, if we could just get answers right then and there, all the time, if we could get whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted it, if manifestation were as simple as spirit dropping blessings in our lap just because we asked for it and we've been a good girl, then life would be easy. Life would be so much easier. But the truth is that the way manifestation works is that you have to know what you want first, and you have to embody what you want first. You have to be clear on what you want first. And to be clear on what you want, you have to be honest with yourself first. And to be honest with yourself first, you have to be honest, as in, you have to be brave, and you have to be willing to kind of hit yourself for a minute. Not in a hateful way, in a loving way, but you have to be willing to put yourself through that. And it sucks. It sucks. It's painful. It's humiliating. Because you have to point the finger at yourself sometimes. Because it really do be you sometimes. And all to what end? What's the point? The point is that when you walk this earth knowing who exactly you are and what exactly you're here to do and why, and what makes you happy and what doesn't, what fulfills you and what doesn't, when you know thyself, you can walk through this earth blindfolded without a fear. That's the point. The point is that you're gaining the tools to navigate life better. And so while the process sucks, it's uncomfortable, it makes you uneasy because you have no control over it, not fully. And there's a lot of unknowns, and people don't like it when they don't know things. But sometimes you just got to sit through the suck. That's the only advice I have here is you got to sit through it. Sit through it until you get through it. There's no shortcut out. Not if you're doing it right. Not if you're doing work that counts. There is no shortcut out. And there's no easy way out. There's no quicker way out. You sit through the suck until you're done. So you may be going through a period of feeling lost for a while, but Saturn in Pisces, man, it's a wild time. It'll do it. But a lot of us are going through it, myself included. And that's okay. You sit through the suck until you're done. And in the realm of love, I don't get the sense that there's any external pressure in you figuring things out. Even if there is another person involved, it doesn't feel like they need you to answer right now. It seems that they're willing to be patient with you, so be patient with yourself. Okay, Cancer, work. Daughter of Pentacles, Mother of Wands, whoa, Ten of Cups, the World, Four of Wands, that looks good. Okay, the Hierophant. Interesting. Some of you might be going back to school or something, or learning a whole different thing. Skill set, gaining a new skill set. That's funny. Ten of Wands and then the Magician, and I heard from burdens into blessings. And we have the Nine of Wands. This to me feels like it's already in order. Usually I feel the urge to rearrange the cards because it feels like an energetic puzzle to me. I don't know how to explain it. It's like certain cards are drawn to other cards or connect to different cards in different ways, but in this case, it feels exactly as it should be, which is a good sign. Daughter of Pentacles, Mother of Wands. This feels like, let's say you're a nurse and you've been working a lot of overtime and you're tired, but there's something about the work that you do love, but you can also tell that it's draining you. Daughter of Pentacles, Mother of Wands feels to me like they're in work too. You're going through a process of asking yourself, what are the pros and cons of what I do for me? Yeah, I feel like I'm making a difference. I feel like I have a purpose. I feel like I don't really get a good work-life balance, and I have other things that I like to do that I can't do because of this. I like the hours, but I don't like the commute. And I say that because the Daughter of Pentacles feels like a spreading out kind of energy, as if you're laying everything on the table. And then the Mother of Wands feels like that movement when you're pulling your chips toward your chest. She feels like what comes out of that process of spreading things out. It's like you're more choosy about what you take back. And in that, you're kind of narrowing down what fulfills you, what makes you happy. What would be more ideal for me? Where are my needs not being met? The world, the cycle, endings, beginnings. Four of Wands, something more stable. Hierophant, potentially going back to school or learning something new to go a different direction. Ten of Wands, the Magician, from burdens to blessings. Nine of Wands, climbing up, persistence, hope. Honestly, simply put, this feels like you're figuring out what more you need from your career, where your needs aren't being met, where your needs are being met, and you're getting more clear on what exactly you want. And you may be finding that it's in something completely else that you'd have to go back to school for, or you'll have to change career tracks for. And you're doing it. You're already doing it. Let's see here. Judgment. Yep. Yeah. You've already made this decision and you're going in that direction. And I don't see anything that would indicate that it's a bad choice. I'm not seeing anything that would indicate that it's the wrong way to go. You're going the right way. If you're making a drastic change and you're wondering if you're crazy, if you're wondering if you can do it, yes, you can. Are you crazy? We're all crazy. But it's always best to start again than it is to stay where you are and continue to be unhappy. Starting again is rough. That's why the Ten of Wands was there. But it's better than bearing that Ten of Wands forever. We can't choose whether or not we suffer, but we can always choose what we suffer for. Yep. All right. Now, Cancer shadow work. Oh, That was not a shuffle. There we go. There we go. That's it. Three of Swords, Ace of Wands, Two of Cups, the High Priestess. Hell yeah. So, Cancer. Remember how I told you that some people are wired to withdraw when they are afraid rather than seek connection? The way that the Three of Swords are so bound together and dripping blood this way versus how on the Ace of Wands you see three sprigs of flowers spreading outward, open. Simply put, it feels like you're learning to communicate your needs. And it's in that process that you're learning to say out loud how you're feeling. That you are in turn learning better what it is you need, what it is you want. You're learning about yourself in the process of externalizing yourself a little more. It's kind of like how sometimes when you just type things out or say things out loud, it helps you organize your thoughts better when you bounce ideas off of other people, or if you write a blog, or in my case, I tend to just dump on Facebook. But it's in that process that you're learning better what you need and how you operate. Because up until this point, the image that I'm getting in my head is it's like you bring a house plant home and you're like, what the heck does this thing need? What even is this? And you try to water it and then it looks all sad and mopey, and then you're like, maybe it doesn't like that much water. So you start to water it less and then it's sad and mopey again and kind of crunchy. And then you're like, maybe somewhere in between, and you try to give it something in between. And then okay, you're like, okay, so this amount of water seems to be good. And now I'm gonna do this like, I don't know, every other day, and then it gets all sad and mopey again, and you're like, maybe that's too much, and then you start to dial back, and then you dial back a little bit too far, and then now it's crispy again, and it's like you're going through the process of figuring out how to take care of a plant, and up until this point you've never figured it out yet, you never quite dialed it in yet, because maybe there was no room for what you needed, maybe there was no room in your own head for what you needed, and you were always so busy thinking about what everyone else needed. You were trying to figure out other people's plants without even knowing how yours works. And it's like right now you're in a space where it's safe to turn outward and figure out what your plant needs. This Two of Cups being here tells me that there are two different paths right now. Not for you specifically, but in general in the Cancerian population right now. As some of you guys met someone that is helping you understand yourself better, that is facilitating your healing. Some of you met yourselves, as in this unity card feels like you met yourself, or maybe it's both. It's almost like you've been so detached from yourself for so long that you're finally, for the first time in a long time, getting to know yourself again. And then we have the High Priestess, all about intuition. She just knows things, man. Like, that's her thing. As I always do say, it's hard to navigate intuition until we have our anxiety under control, our depression under control, until we master ourselves. It's hard to tap into intuition because that stuff is loud. It occupies a lot of space in the mind. And this to me feels like you're clearing a lot of that out and you're becoming more firm in yourself. And in turn, you're becoming more intuitive of everything around you as well, as your inside starts to quiet more, as your nervous system begins to heal. Wow. I don't think I really gave you any advice in this reading, honestly. I feel like I basically just kind of did a play by play on where you're at. Um, I didn't get any advice, not that I remember. It seems like you're doing pretty good. You're going the right way. I don't know if that's all you needed to hear, but you're going the right way, and that's really all I have to say about it. Cancers. Hell yeah. All right. Well, if you liked what you saw here today, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment to help me out with the algorithm. Hit the notification button so that you get notified every time I post a video. And I will see you in the next one.